Okay, hello. This is my first video I've ever done on my own. I have one other, but my son helped me. This is about Chase Morgan Bank. I have had it with being ripped off. We need to do something about this. We need to get together and we need to stop these banks. They rip people off. They change pending transactions around. Banks do not make their money off of rich people, okay? Rich people, the ones they roll out the red carpet for and treat them like they're royalty, those people, they make money off the banks. They don't pay. It's us, the poor people, the ones that, run our accounts from week to week with the bare minimums. They figure out a way, once we get overdrawn, we're targeted, plain and simple. I was crying a minute ago when I first tried to start doing this video, but I had to calm down and regroup so I could do it again. So like I said, this is my first. I'm going to try to get to the point without... now, I'm just going to tell you about one thing. Basically, since April, I went to Bank of America. I was a customer of Bank of America for 30 years. They kept switching their pending transactions around in the middle of the night so they could charge as many fees. They are now in a lawsuit. In fact, they just lost $1 billion lawsuit because of it, which I should be getting a chunk of. Anyway, but of course they're appealing it rather than just pay what they owe people. Anyway, so I went from Bank of America to Chase because of that, and then Chase starts doing the exact same thing, switching their pending transactions around in the middle of the night from highest to lowest so they can charge as much as possible. It's illegal, but they do it. KeyBank, they don't even hide it. They just come right out and say it. I have 2 accounts with 2 different banks, one with Chase, one with Key. KeyBank, they're just like, yeah, we do that. We charge from the highest to the lowest. They don't even try to hide it. It's illegal. They're not supposed to. Okay, now, I'll just tell you recently what's happened. In April, Wildblue Communications stole money out of my account. I had it set up for automatic monthly payment out of my Chase account. But one month I didn't have the money in that account, so I called and used my KeyBank account for a one-time payment. They debited both my accounts. Caused such a spiral effect in both accounts. I had NSF fees. I was overdrawn almost $300 in both accounts. They stole $140 out of both accounts. Actually, twice. They took $103 once and then $140 the next time out of both accounts. Yeah, took me forever to even get it straightened out. In the meantime, there was such a spiral effect, we haven't been able to get caught up. The bank, they give me this lip service. Oh, we've given you your one-time courtesy reversal. And I'm like, no, I've never had a courtesy reversal. It's because money was stolen from me. And anyway, I have never been able to get caught up from it. So I'm still dealing with Wildblue. They refused to even replace the money that they stole. They even acknowledged that they debited both my accounts, but Wildblue's a whole nother subject. I'll make another video about them. Anyway, so my husband was on partial unemployment. They've been eating up almost $100 to $200 a week for months now. I've paid thousands in NSF fees in the last 6 months. Let's see, we'll start with recently. Monday, I had to go write a check for $19. I live in the mountains. It's a 40-mile trip just to town, so 80-mile round trip. Anyway, I go to town. I had to write a check for $19.52. I had dug up $20 worth of pennies. I didn't want to take the pennies to the store, so I wrote the check, and I took the pennies to the bank and deposited $20 in my account. Should have covered the $19.52. Okay, on the way home, I knew I had to have gas because we've been, like I said, it set off such a spiral effect. I could barely keep my husband in gas to get to work so he don't lose his job, so things get even worse. And he was on partial unemployment, which made things really hard. Anyway, so I put $20 in the bank after I wrote the $19.52 check. I go home. I knew I had to put gas in the car. I knew that, that would overdraw the account. I used my debit card on credit, so it would show the $1, and I knew when the $1 switched over that it would overdraw the account and I would get a fee, okay? I kept monitoring my account. Everything was fine until that dollar switched over to the amount that I'd gotten in gas, and sure enough, that night, Thursday night, the bank went and switched the transactions around and charged me 2 fees instead of 1. So I called yesterday. I'm in tears. I'm calling, hey, you charged me 2 fees. They refused to do anything about it because they've given me so many courtesy reversals, as they say. Anyway, so then last night my husband gets his paycheck because he's back to work, and, you know, I thought I was going to start seeing some daylight and get caught up, you know. Anyways, paycheck came in last night, 2 a.m. I look in the account, there's $915 had come in, but the bank had taken 100 and some odd bucks of it, so there was only $715 or 700, I don't know the exact amount, but there was 758 or something like that. So I go ahead and I paid my power bill, $127, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Okay. Then my husband gets up, goes to work at 3 a.m. He goes and takes $200 cash out of the bank. We still had a positive balance at 4 a.m. when I went to bed. I get up this morning thinking, okay, we had 750 some bucks, whatever. My husband took 200, I paid 127. That's $327 out of 750 some bucks. I knew I had a positive balance still, obviously, so I thought. So I picked up the phone and made a $132 payment to Rent-A-Center, thinking I'm still in the good, right? I knew I had a couple checks out that I had to written Thursday. I wrote 3 checks, knowing, you know, that my husband gets his automatic deposit, direct deposit after midnight Friday night, so I didn't think that it should be a problem. Never should have been a problem. So 4 a.m. I go to bed, still in the good. I had already paid a Vista, the 127. Husband had already taken out his 200. Still in the good. Everything's good. Get up, pay the Rent-A-Center, get online so I could do my booking, you know, add everything up and consolidate everything. Figured when all was said and done, I'd still have close to $100 for the husband for his gas for the week. I turned my laptop on. I'm $60 over John already. I look and they've charged me 3 fees. Those 3 checks that I wrote on Thursday, they came through after 4 a.m. After my husband's paycheck was already showing, after I made the payment to Avista Power Company, after my husband took his $200 out, they went and processed those 3 checks, switched everything around so that the checks, according to their books now, came through before my husband's check, and they charged me 3 more NSF fees. So 2 yesterday, or 2 the day before, 3 last night, whatever, so that's $173 in NSF fees in the last 48 hours, when I should have only paid 1. So, yeah, I called the bank up. They absolutely refused to do anything. I talked to this one teller, or account specialist, which they're not even in this country anymore. That's another thing. They're in the freaking Philippines. That's who I was talking to. Somebody in the Philippines barely speaks English, don't know American lifestyles or how things work, just spitting out some crap that they're told to spit out, some generic whatever. Anyway, yeah, this chickadee is like, oh, you just don't understand. Let me explain it so you understand. And I got pissed and called her a name. So I hung up on her. I called back to talk to somebody that actually had some brains or was in the United States of America. And I get this recording saying, oh, our tellers are supposed to be courteous to our customers, but that requires you have to be courteous to us too. You've chosen not to be, so you no longer can contact us. Don't ever call us again. I'm like, what? Excuse me? The bank just stole almost $200 from me. I basically get told that I'm too stupid to freaking understand by some Filipino woman in another country, and then I'm blackballed and 86th from the bank, so I can't even call. Priceless, priceless. So I'm going to start a blog. I'm going to start a blog called Ass Backwards by Jennie, because that's ass backwards. And another thing that's ass backwards is that people like me, I'm the one paying the wages for these bank people. I pay their paycheck. I buy their cars. I pay their rent. Okay? Rich people, they don't pay nothing. Rich people, they don't get loans because they're already rich. They soak money up. They soak up the interest. They soak up the money, and then they put it in other countries and everything else just so they can be wined and dined and treated like royalty. They're scum. They don't pay anything in this country. It's the sweat off of the backs of people like my husband and me. We're the ones who are paying their paychecks. We're the ones who are paying the bills in this country. Us, the working people, the poor people. They make their money off of us, then they spit on us and look down their noses at us and treat us like trash. I'm sick of it. It's ass backwards, and it needs to stop. Ass backwards. I'm going to start a blog. ass backwards by Jennie. It's time to stop all this stuff. Ass backwards. We're the ones that pay the bills in this country. We're the ones who should be making policy in this country. We're the ones they should be listening to, not all these snobby rich people who are destroying our way of life and walking on us and spitting on us and putting out their slime political campaigns and all their garbage. It needs to stop now. It's ass backwards with Jennie.